it's on the telly.
Oh, is it?
Yes, got a keyboard and everything. So, wow, there we are. So, these are the 5 key factors that should form the basis of your choice for web designer. The first one is branding. Now, I'm not talking about their branding. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can everybody read that? I'm not talking about their branding, I'm talking about your branding. Your web designer should take time to understand your brand. At the end of the day, whether you're building your own website or whether somebody else is building it for you, whoever is building a website needs to be clear on your brand, because your website ultimately is a brand communication tool. It's one of the tools that you use to communicate your brand to attract your ideal clients. So if your web designer doesn't understand your brand, then how can they create that tool that communicates your brand effectively and attracts your ideal clients? Agreed?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So, a good web designer will sit down, and the first thing you need to ask a prospective web designer is whether or not they provide any kind of branding discovery service, a branding discovery session, a branding review, whatever they may call it. I provide a brand review to all my clients, and it is free, so if you do want to avail yourselves of that, then it's free and no obligation. I'm happy to offer that to you. The second thing you need to be looking for is access. I'm not talking about your flexible friend, the old credit card. I'm talking about access to the back-end areas of your website. Now, a lot of web designers I've come across, even some really good ones, for some reason, I'll explain one possible reason in a minute. For some reason, they guard the back-end areas very jealously. Basically, you have 2 specific areas that you need access to. The first one is called your dashboard, if your website is built on WordPress. If it's built on a different platform, such as Joomla, Wix, no way I would build a website in Wix, but hey ho, Squarespace, Drupal, or whatever, there will be an equivalent. But your dashboard is called your dashboard in WordPress, and that is basically where you have control of the content of your website. So you can change the content of your pages, you can have blog posts, you can upload photos and videos and podcasts, and if it's an e-commerce website, then you can add products, take products off, put special offers on, etc. That's on the WordPress dashboard, and you need full admin access to that. I'll tell you why you need full admin access in a minute. The second area you need access to, and this is very important, and this is the area that a lot of web designers guard very jealously. It's a level deeper. It's called the control panel or C panel. Now, this is where the techie stuff happens. This is where you have full control of all the files and the database that make up your website. You also have control of your email addresses, so you can add email addresses, forwarding addresses, access your mailboxes, etc. And you have control of your domain name. So, if needs be, you can transfer your domain name to another hosting provider. Probably the reason why a lot of web designers guard this area jealously, because they don't want you to move your website elsewhere. However, if you don't have access, full admin access to your control panel, or your C panel is called for short, then you don't own your website. Your web designer does. And the reason I say that is because, excuse me, the reason I say that is because if something was to happen to your web designer or the web design company, let's say for instance they go bust, let's say they're a sole trader, a one-man band, and they keel over and die overnight, or they do a runner, I've seen this happen before, and you have no contact with that person or that company, you have lost your website and your domain name, because there is no way you can access it to transfer it to a new hosting company, new hosting provider. So you need full access.